What's going on, YouTube fans? Today I decided I want to do a tackle video and show you a few tips that I found out this year or I've known for a little while. One of the tips, I'm going to show you how I drop shot fish. I did a lot of drop shot fishing up in New York back in May, and it was very successful. So I figured I'd show some people some tips and something maybe you have not thought of doing with your drop shot rig. I'm also going to cover a little bit of tube fishing, and yeah, so I'm just gonna show you my way of how I've been fishing this spring, and maybe you'll get something from it. So let's dive into it and let's get started. First things first, if you please could hit that like button and subscribe to my channel, I'd greatly appreciate it. Also, leave any comments down that you would like to share with somebody. Maybe a little trick that you got, or maybe a bait you like to throw on a drop shot, or a knot, maybe a different knot that you tie. I'd love to hear about it, and it could, make somebody else better. It can make me better, and I'm all for that. So yeah, please subscribe and hit that like button, and let's dive into this. So first off, I'm going to show you how I like to rig up a drop shot. First thing I do is I pick a hook, and the type of hook that I like to use is a size 2. It's kind of like an octopus hook. It's similar to a circle hook. It does not have a very long shank. I do not hooks that have a long shank on them. This is what mine look like. Just a basic, really sharp, I think this is a trocar hook. So that's the type of hook I like to use for a drop shot rig. And the next thing is a tungsten or lead drop shot weight. And this weight, I believe, is made by Triple B. This one, I believe, is 3/16 ounce. And it just crimps onto your line. You don't have to tie it. It'll just crimp on your tag end, and it'll walk the bottom. A lot of sensitivity, but yeah, overall it's a really nice weight. There's different sizes. There's teardrops. There's different styles. There's round. I like these cylinder. I like them best. I think they're more sleek and less noticeable. So the knot I tie with this, I'm not quite sure what it's called. I know guys tie the Palomar knot, which is a great knot. It works great. Mine's more just like a cinch knot. It's real easy to tie. All you do is you overlap your line, twist the hook 5 times, and just slowly pull as you're wetting. And it'll take two knots, and it'll kind of be on both sides of the eye. I think it's a cinch knot, but I could be wrong. So I'm going to tie this up and show you what I like to tie. Okay, so I'm going to show you how I like to tie my drop shots. This, like I said before, I believe is called a cinch knot. So first thing you're going to do is you're going to take your drop shot hook. You're going to thread it onto your line with the point facing upwards. All you're going to do is you're going to pull pretty much what you want your tag end and where your weight is going to sit at the end of this. I always pull a little over a foot. It's better to pull too much than too little, because you can always trim afterwards. So after you get your length of your the bottom that you want, you're just going to overlap these lines here. You're not going to put the line through the eyelet or anything like that. You're just going to kind of go over top of that hook and the line that you already have. And you're going to want it to look like that. So once you have it looking like that, you're going to need both hands to kind of keep this apart. And you're pretty much just going to make this hook and twist it over top of this line here. I say 7 times roughly. 5 or 6 or 7's fine. That's good enough. And you just got to be real careful when you go to tighten it. So We're going to go ahead and twist this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times. So now you got twists on both sides of your hook, and you're going to start gently pulling. What you're pulling is your main line from your reel and your tag line that'll be at the bottom. So you're going to start pulling both of these. As you can see here, got 2 loops on the very end and twists in the middle. This is where I get it to about here and I wet it. So there it's wetted. That just helps with fray. And just gently pull both of these lines here. Just going to snug that up. And there you go. So now you have a perfect drop shot hook. And as you can see, the hook is pointed directly upwards, and that's what you want in a drop shot. You want your drop shot hook to be pointed upwards. And as you can kind of see, I know it's hard to see with this fluorocarbon leader here, but there's 2 knots on both sides of the eyelet, and this is a very strong hook. Very strong, and I got about a foot of excess on the bottom, which is where we're going to put our weight. So hopefully you can see that good enough. But no matter what, that hook's going to be facing upwards, and that's what you want. You're going to hook them fish in the top of the lip every time. So let's put that weight on. I'll show you how I put that weight on. So here now, all you got to do, you got your hook tied on. You got about a foot. You can go more, you can go less, but I like about a foot. I like getting those baits about a foot off the bottom. So all you need to do, take your drop shot weight. Like I said, it just has this little clasp. And all you need to do is just pinch it on the line. I just put it up a couple inches. Put it up a couple inches to about there. And you just put the line through. You just take both fingers and pull that line and just cinch it down tight. And there you go. So that's just a cinch weight. You can, for extra precaution, make like 1 little knot. Take the tag end, make 1 little knot, and if it's real long, I cut it. So right there. That's all you need. That's your drop shot weight. Here's your drop shot setup. Hook here, always facing up. Weight about a foot underneath. So I know that was a little tough to see because I'm using a clear fluorocarbon line, but we do have our drop shot tied up. Here it is. Got the hook straight up. We got the weight. There it is. So pretty much all you're going to do when you're running a drop shot, you're going to cast it out, and you can cast these a far distance and just slowly work it across that bottom. Always have contact with that weight on the bottom. You'll feel everything you go over, and it's just reassuring that you're always in the strike zone for fish. I caught a lot of bass and walleyes like this, and I think it's a great technique. And also, one thing is I fish a lot of weeds, and this presentation will keep you out of some of them lower weeds that are maybe just some grass sticking up on the bottom. You can get above that grass with the drop shot rig. So that's one perk. I run 10-pound braid on my spinning equipment. You can run all fluoro if you want, but I like braid, and then I tie like 2 feet of fluoro leader, and I just like that leader and being more natural in the water. So yeah, so there it is, all tied up for you. A couple of the baits that I'm going to show you, I used them up in New York, and I use them here in Ohio as well. I was up in New York back in Memorial Weekend back in May, and one of my favorite things that I did up there was I was drop shotting a Keitech leech. And a Keitech leech it's a simple bait. It looks just like a leech. It's scented. There's a Keitech leech. I was throwing these. I mostly was throwing the all black ones, but this one's got some blue in it. You can tell it's got a tail end and it has a head. These are designed for drop shotting. We fish a lot of live leeches up in New York as well. So I figured, you know what, I'm gonna try these Keitechs and see if they outfish live. Maybe they're more durable, and I will say they're more durable, but you will have perch, bluegill ripping them off. They are still just plastic, soft plastic, but yeah, you don't have to worry about keeping live bait and just go buy some plastics. So when I would run this Keitech leech, I just nose hook it. Just nose hook it where it's meant to be nose hooked, and that's in that fat spot on their head. So there would be my setup right there. Nose hooked, and all that thing does when you walk that bottom, when this hits water, it's gonna come up and float. These baits float because I got a couple back after they got ripped off. So yeah, these float, and they're just gonna run like a leech. You don't have to do any real shaky stuff. You don't have to jig them hard. Just slowly retrieve, and they'll swim just like a real leech. So that was one of my favorite drop shot setups that I ran. So pick up a pack of Keitech leeches and give it a try at your home lake and see how you like it. The next bait that I tried with my drop shot, and I am still using it today, is this little worm. It's kind of a stick bait. It's made by a company in Ohio. It's called the Verbinator. It's a ribbed plastic. It's a cool plastic, garlic scented, and it's made to drop shot. This color is a brown. It's called Chautauqua meat. That's why I bought it, but I use it here in Ohio, and it's a good drop shot bait. Very nice bait. It's similar to that leech, I will say. It's very similar, just a little thicker profile. Swims real nice. Perfect for drop shots. That's a Verbinator. It's called a Verbinator, and they're made by Ohio Pro Lure, I believe. So check these out. I pick all these baits up from my local shop, and that's Fisherman's Central. If you haven't checked out Fisherman's Central, I highly suggest you do that. It's a great store. You can buy stuff online. They have a great website, or stop in at the store. It's in Akron, Ohio. So check them out. I'll leave the link for Fisherman's Central and all these baits that I'm using in the description. So if you want to check them out, purchase some, just drop down and look under the video. So another bait that I do run drop shot, I don't run it as much, but a bait you can do is a swim bait. A lot of people don't think of it, but a swim bait's a great bait to drop shot. A lot of action. So there's my swim bait. This is a Keitech Swing Impact. I run small swim baits, only 2.8 inches, the small ones. So you can gently reel this with the drop shot, and that tail will swim just like you would with a jig head or any regular hook on here. I nose hook these as well. They're small enough you can nose hook them. But yeah, as long as that bait runs at bottom, that swim bait will just swim at that perfect 1 foot above bottom. And you know where it's at all times. As long as that weight's touching bottom, it's a foot above that. So that's nice. So swim bait, never overlook drop shot in a swim bait. And the last bait that I'm going to show you that I like to drop shot, and it's kind of funny. I met some guys when I was in New York. I met some guys, and they were from Maryland, and they were big bass fishing guys. And they were asking me what I caught my fish on. I caught a real nice smallie, and I told them I was drop shotting a tube. And they kind of looked at me, and they even said, they go, I never thought about drop shotting a tube. You were drop shotting a tube? And I go, yeah. And they said, well, you know, I'll have to try that. Maybe then they never heard of it. And I tell you what, it's a good good presentation. I was catching yellow perch and rock bass on it. I mean, it was catching everything. So yeah, now I'm starting to see more that companies make a drop shot tube, and it's just a little, like, I think it's a 3-inch tube. It's small, it's thin, it's made for drop shotting, and they're still salted. And here's the one I run. Just a little drop shot tube. I mean, it's small, but perfect for you know, just getting a bass's attention. It's very similar to all the other baits, but I just think it's something special. You know, I know how smallies love tubes, so I figured I'm gonna drop shot these little tubes, and guess what? They do like them. So this tube is a Dry Creek Custom Baits. I got these at Fisherman's Central also, and these are watermelon candy. They got all different colors. This company, I believe, is out west, but they make a drop shot tube, and it's very durable, great tube. It holds up and has a nice presentation, so pick some up. So that's pretty much it. I wanted to talk a little bit about, I like to fish tubes. I fish tubes in Ohio. I fish them pretty much everywhere I go, and I'm bass fishing. I know how smallmouth like tubes. I've been fishing, you know, a basic tube. I believe that's a Missile Baits tube. It's a great tube, salted. And I picked up some, they're actually made for Ned rigs, but they're made by Lifted Jigs, and it's this EWG Ned head. And when I was fishing these last time, I figured I'd make my tubes weedless and use one of these instead of just a straight tube jig head, and it worked. Here's the one I had tied up. So that's your Ned head, and I just thread it in like a regular tube jig head. And what that does is that makes your tube not 100%, but it makes it very, very weedless. I skin hook the hook here. It's hard to see. Yeah, the hook's just barely sticking out. And this caught a lot of fish. So if you want to make a tube weedless, look into these EWG Ned heads by Lifted Jigs. And it's very quality stuff. I picked these up at Fisherman's Central as well. So check them out. I'll leave the link below. So that's pretty much it. I appreciate you guys watching, and maybe so that's pretty much it. I appreciate you guys watching and maybe learning a thing here or there about drop shot fishing. I am fairly new to it. I knew all about it, but it takes a little while for me to get confidence in something, and this is something I quickly got confidence in. I caught nice walleyes on the drop shot. I caught real nice smallies. I was catching panfish, and it's just something that I really set my mind to do this year, and it's produced some nice fish. So if you have any tricks or any really cool baits that you run on your drop shots, put a comment beneath this video, and I'd love to hear them. I always like hearing about different ways different people like to fish, and it could help me out. It could help anybody out. So yeah, leave a comment and tell me if you like to drop shot fish, or tell me if you try a different knot or a different weight or whatnot, and I'd love to hear about it. So if you can, please like and subscribe, and hopefully I'll have some more videos coming up. If you haven't yet, check out the last Lake Erie walleye video that I posted. That's a great video. I have some bass videos too. And yeah, so just, yeah. Everybody, I hope everyone stays healthy, and everyone keeps fishing and enjoying their summer. So thank you.